Well, there were some that...
Oh, well, we're started.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. We got people coming in. So, I don't know, maybe some of you know this, maybe some of you don't, but today is a special day because... Dun, 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 the only pirate of the... I can't say the own name.
Again.
The only pirate at the party is now available. It's out.
Yay!
We're published authors.
It's crazy. It's very crazy.
So exciting.
But you can get it today.
Yes, you can get it online. You can get it at Barnes & Nobles. You can get it wherever you want. Links on my website. Anyways.
Earlier this week, we said we were going to Periscope. Our flight got delayed a lot. So we're just getting to it now. But we got a lot of questions about the book that we were going to answer today. So we're going to go through some of those. We said we were going to answer 10. We're probably going to answer more like 50.
Yeah. And if you guys have, when we get to a little bit later, we'll ask you if you have any questions and you can,
if we don't
write in
answer
your question.
anything that you wanted to know. So, okay, why did you decide to write a book together? Good question.
Well, I'll start this one. So I had the idea that I wanted to write a memoir, and I felt like I had a lot of stories to share, and because you guys asked me all these questions and meet and greets and whatever, and I never felt like I was ever able to do them full justice, because some of them were very deep questions. And so did I have the capability to write a great book?
Maybe.
It would have probably taken me about 15 years. So, Brooke is a creative writing major.
Yeah, I was actually in school at the moment.
Yes.
Yes, I was finishing my degree at ASU. Anyway, she called me up one day and was like, "Hey, you want to write a book together?" It's like, "Sure, that sounds like fun."
Wait, let's be honest though. What were your, actually we never talked about this. What were your actual thoughts? Were you like, Lindsay's crazy, or
I was like really shocked at first because I didn't expect it. I never thought of it before, I guess, and it was a little weird. And then I was like, that could be really fun. And I'd never written anything, so I was very nervous. It's my first published work, so I was definitely very scared. But she had faith in me, and we did it.
Yay! No, I was like, I kept telling her over and over again. She's like,
I was like, are you sure?
Are you sure?
You
want me to do this? And I was like, absolutely, because to be honest, when I thought about writing a book, some people had suggested it, but I thought, I didn't feel comfortable quite being able to write it myself, but, and also, I didn't really want to just get a random writer to help me. Like, Brooke knows me better than any person on the planet, probably. She's known me
I've known her for a while.
Since, let's see, I think since I was 3.
Yes.
She's known me. And we shared a room together when we were kids. We went to college as roommates. She's come on tour with me.
Yeah, which brings us to some of the other questions. Someone asked, like, what was the hardest chapter to write? And I think the hardest sections to write were the ones that I wasn't there for, because I've been there for almost all of the parts of her life. So childhood, college, I've been on tour with her, visited her in LA. Like, I've just seen all of her life, except for the mission chapter.
Oh, yeah.
I was not there for that. And then, like, the late high school part, because we were at really different phases of life. I was like,
she was a freshman.
Coming out of junior high, and there's just like kind of a maturity gap there at that age. So those were the 2 sections that were the hardest, because everything else I kind of experienced with her. I was even there for America's Got Talent.
That's right.
And
she was in the audience
I've been
that
at
night.
award shows with her, so I've kind of gotten to see every little aspect of her life in some small glimpse, which really helped as we were working on this together. Except for those 2. So I was like, oh gosh, like I don't even have like a glimpse of those.
Yeah.
So I have to, like, especially the mission one, I wasn't there, at all. So we had to work really hard to kind of make sure we got it all down correctly.
Bing.
So yeah.
Nailed
that was
it.
probably hardest. Let's see. Have you actually laughed while writing the book?
Yes!
We think we're pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. Like, a lot of times we would be laughing so hard, we'd be like, why do we think we're so funny? It's not that funny. So,
or it was
I hope
like,
you guys think it's a little bit funny, maybe. But.
Right? Well, one time, I can remember one time in particular, I'm not going to tell you the story of the book because you got to get it and you got to read it, but it was when we were on a long flight, and we were a little bit delirious, we were exhausted.
From Asia, I think, so it was a really long flight.
Yeah, it was the Philippines. And it was that day when we went backwards in traffic that's a story in itself. But, anyways, we're finally on the flight. We're flying home, and everyone else is sleeping around us.
Like silent, and we were just, like deliriously like giggling, like trying so hard. Because we were just working, we were just working on it, and then all of a sudden we like hit something that just really tickled our fancy, and we're like, that is funny. And it was a story that she brought up. She's like, well, there was this one time. It was an embarrassing story. I was trying to dig up embarrassing moments, and she was like,
got one.
This one time, and it was a good one. So. Can't wait for you to read it.
Just a little hit. It's actually the part I sent out a tweet where I was laughing really hard when I was reading the audiobook.
The audiobook, yes.
There were several moments when I had a hard time reading it, but this one we actually had to continue the chapter, finish it
later, and
come back later because I couldn't handle it. And a little hint, just so you know what part it is, when you read the book, it's a story when I'm getting a ride with somebody.
I think it's a chapter titled "Blame It on the Boys."
I think it's in that one.
It's my guess.
But you'll know. Sure. So now you'll know the story when you get to it.
Okay, let's see.
Someone asked what our favorite chapter was.
Yeah, go ahead.
My favorite chapter, I think, is from the childhood chapters, and it's a chapter that kind of highlights my dad.
Scarf Man.
And he's Scarf Man, and I've always been very close to, like, just my whole family, but I think that chapter really sums up in a really, like, Brooke did such a good job of taking you through, like, laughter to, like, all of a sudden, like, really sentimental, like, oh, it's, like, so good. Not sad, just, like, wow, like, he sacrificed a lot for me.
Yeah. A little tug. Bing, bing. My favorite chapter is in the back, I think. There's a chapter called My Car. And I just had a lot of fun writing that chapter because it let me kind of go back and forth between childhood and current. And I just really like what her car says about her. And it was one that I was like, we have to write about your car.
We gotta write about the car.
And she was like, okay.
The Echo.
She dug up some pretty good stuff on that. So I really like that chapter. It's kind of a weird one, but... let's see. How did you decide to write it? We already kind of went over that. Did you struggle with any chapters? Did that. Favorite chapter. Favorite chapter.
One thing, one of the hardest chapters for me to be able to do with Brooke on my side was probably the chapter where I talk about my eating disorder and to kind of convey.
Oh, that. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot. That was definitely the hardest one.
Because I saw a couple people must have missed it. At the beginning, I think we started with the hardest chapter to write, but for me, that was really hard to...
That was daunting.
Express how it felt to have, like, a mental disease.
And that's one thing that I could not relate to personally.
Right.
So it was so hard for me to try to... Because it's a very important and delicate issue. I didn't want to get it wrong.
Yeah.
So we spent a ton of time on that one. I think it was one of the first ones that we started writing and one of the last ones that we actually like wrapped up because we wanted to get it like totally right and kind of make sure that we portray what it's about, what it's like, and how to work through that and make sure that we didn't like idolize it at all because that is not what we were trying to do. We just wanted to kind of share her experience without making it glorified at all, or
we didn't want it to be like a poor me chapter too.
Yeah, we didn't want it. Woe is me.
It was supposed to be like a. Basically, the reason I thought it was so important to share that was because, well, one, it's a big part of my life, and it was a part of who I was once upon a time. But I wanted people to realize that whatever demons they faced, like you can overcome them, and you can get through them. And so it was a chapter that I wanted to get right because I wanted it to give people hope.
Yeah. So that was probably definitely the hardest one.
And if you guys have any Rue double O ow, I notice you. But again, everybody, hi. We're just tuning in. We're in New York City. The book launched today.
We're at Simon & Schuster right now.
Yes. See, look, there's our book. It's up on the shelf over there if you can see it.
Yay!
Yay! And we're going to Barnes & Noble's today in New York City in Union Square. And we're going to be signing and meeting people and talking to people. And there's also a full there's a full book tour that's happening. And we're going all across.
Wish that we were going to more places, but if you're close to any of them, we'd love to see you.
Yeah, please come out. We're super stoked.
If you're not, we'd still love you and appreciate your support.
Yes. Oh,
here's a good
someone
one.
just said, I love the Scarf Man chapter. That was my favorite
Oh,
chapter.
good, I'm glad.
Yeah, it's so cool that they're like,
I know, you can read it right now. It's for sale. You can go grab it.
You can go get it.
While we're talking about it.
Oh my gosh.
Someone asked, did you write the book during your tours? Were you in one room? And
That's actually a kind of a cool story. You want to start?
Sure. So we started it when I was in college. She was a musician at the, time. So we actually started working on it just over the phone and mostly on Skype. We'd Skype a lot.
Right.
We kind of at the beginning fleshed out like what the whole thing should be. Kind of told me what kind of things she wanted to get across, what we wanted to include, and then from there we just kind of just like picked little pieces and worked as we went. And I would ask a ton of questions and then write a little bit and then ask a ton of questions and then fill in the blanks and then ask a ton of questions.
Pretty much. Well, and the cool thing also is we were writing this as sometimes Brooke was on tour with me and we'd work late after shows, but also when
or
Brooke
on travel days or whatever.
Yeah, we'd like sit in the bus and just write. And then other times when Brooke wasn't on tour with me, we were still working on it. We've been working on it for 3 years. And so, like, I would Skype her after a show, and it's like 2 a.m. my time, but, it's like middle of the day, her time.
We'd have to, like, coordinate times. Okay, I'm going to be working, this time to this time. And she'd be like, okay, well, I'm performing this time to this time and working, whatever. So we just kind of find little pieces throughout the day. And we would... Welcome back! Kristen!
I was watching you guys.
She brought us lunch.
Yes. Oh, people are asking if Luna is out with us. Look at Luna! Luna, say hi to everybody. Wait, Adina, turn her around. Show them her awesome jacket. Her little jacket says, "We are Gabi." Adina got that for Luna. Oh! Luna, yay! She's excited to be out with us. She's going to be coming to the book signings as well. I want to teach her how to put her little paw on an ink pad.
And on a book.
And then on a book. She hasn't learned yet, so don't get too excited, but that's my hope.
Anyway, yeah, lots of post-show Skype sessions from
Yes.
all around the world.
Oh, yes.
How many hours or days did it take you to record the audiobook, Lindsay?
It took like 6 days or 5 days.
Of like 4 to 5 hours at a time.
Yeah, I do it for 4 hours straight, and as you'll see in the very first chapter of the book, it talks about that I don't read well aloud, and so it was kind of a process to record the book.
She did really good,
Oh,
though.
thanks. I was really kind of nervous. I was like,
I was impressed. I thought that it was going to take a lot more time than it did, because she did well! This little pirate!
I can
You
read!
cannot stop her!
I've been working on that since I was, 5, so I'm really glad that I can read. Someone asked me, I was doing an interview, and a phone interview about the book, and she asked me, so, do you feel like you can read now? And I was like, well, of course I can read. Like, it was really
Yeah, she
funny.
knows how to read. It's just, she's like, sometimes she reads slower than the average person.
Human.
She's not giving herself enough credit.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh, I send a kiss to you too. Mwah!
Mwah! Says, do you think you'll ever publish another book after this one?
I haven't talked to you about it yet. I already have an idea.
Oh!
But a while. Gonna be let Brooke have a break and work on some of her. Sorry, Jared, you're interrupting my. But yeah, so I got.
Yeah, for future.
Oh, I have an idea, but some idea of her projects.
I have a couple ideas that have put like the next.
Yeah, because obviously you'll see Brooke is such a writer. Not only did I choose her because she's my sister, but I would read her blogs, and she just cracks me up. And so I was like, this is the one.
Do you ever think you'll write a children's or illustrated book? Actually, I think that she might.
Might have a children's book someday.
Yeah.
We'll call it The Lunar Landing.
She's popular in the Simon & Schuster office. She's already won over her, so I think it's going to be a
That's
piece
so
of cake.
true. Okay, maybe just a couple more questions, and if you guys have questions, then please
What
ask
was
them.
your purpose for writing a book?
My purpose for writing a book,
And what do you want people to take from it?
Oh, there's several takeaways from the book, and the reason I did want to write it was to story, and I wanted, to hopefully inspire somebody or make people realize that it's okay to be different and to be unique, and every single one of us is. And people would have that takeaway. Whatever it is they want to do in life, you can do it. Because I definitely had the odds against me, and I think it's not the people that, you know, it's not the different.
Oh, 2 more. Do you ever get stressed? Block? Yes, all the time. Day. Blankly, that happened a lot.
That's a lot with my as well.
Yes, it's just a piece of the process.
It is. I think I was a terrible writer.
Yeah, I used to think, like, nobody just is this bad. Like, I read this paragraph 3 hours and nothing's happened. But, yeah, it happens to everybody in any process. There was
Last question.
It was one. Oh, does it have America's Got Talent experiences in it? It does. Years made us, you know, cut it down a little bit more than we wanted to.
We had a little bit more juicy
Yeah,
details.
it was your pre-edit, legal edit, but
you know,
it's
there, and
we got
more like I felt than actually, because I guess you're not
that. So that's okay though. There's some good stuff, and I think it still turned out really good. We were a little nervous at first, like, oh, but our editor was awesome, and he really helped us kind of shape it in. So,
yay! All right, guys, love you. Hope you store soon.
bye.
Bye, guys.
I want to make sure you guys eat before we go.
Oh, it's still running. I can't ever stop. My finger, it doesn't sense. I don't know if I have
Your
bad
cold blood.